If you are familiar with our Pours Unknown videos, you know we taste bourbons and ryes completely blind, but today, and maybe a few more times in the future, we're going to go a little trip around the world.
What?
Join us.
Welcome or welcome back to Stuff and Whiskey. I'm Erin.
I'm Josh, and if you are new here, we are husband and wife.
We are.
We are not professional whiskey drinkers, but we are absolutely blind whiskey drinkers.
Yes.
We don't know what's in our glass,
Nope.
and our reactions serve as your review. Erin's more the casual social sipper. I'm a little bit more of the whiskey nerd. Tend to dabble in bourbon. Erin tends to like ryes a little bit more. However, we both do have a deep appreciation for whiskeys from around the world.
Yes, we do.
And longtime viewers of the channel will know we used to have a series on Wednesdays called Wildcard Wednesdays, where we tasted whiskeys from all over the world. And what we have decided to do from now going forward for at least the foreseeable future is combine those two pools between our Pours Unknown Monday videos and our Wildcard Wednesday videos. And we are going to sometimes on these Monday videos have international whiskeys pop up.
Sometimes, from time to time.
We
don't know when they'll come up, too.
Right. But we do know that when we get one of these amber sample jars, that signifies that it is one of our wildcard samples because it's a different key to know what the sample is.
Well, you want to get the clear glass bottles? We normally have our bourbons and ryes in a clear jar, and then our international whiskeys will be in these amber jars. So when we pull an amber jar, we'll know, okay, this is international. Don't expect a bourbon.
Yeah, and of course we could combine them all, but the internationals are helpful to keep separate because sometimes we have peated things in there, and we don't want to accidentally film a peated video before we film a head-to-head.
Yeah.
We do batch film, and we don't want to wreck our palates. So
that'd be bad.
we're going to go ahead and get into this.
Okay.
Hopefully you guys enjoyed these sporadically infused international videos. International whiskeys are some of our favorite things.
I did not know I liked it as much as I did.
Single
malt whiskeys,
probably your favorite.
I'm a fan.
Yeah.
All around the world. American single malts too, but single malts in general. Love.
We'll talk more about our love for international whiskey in a minute, but let's get this on the nose. And that's why we do it.
Smells like heaven.
That's why we do it.
In my glass.
Wow.
It smells like a bowl of fruit and
Yeah.
a peach that just got cut next to it.
Yes. Peach and
Pear.
like shortbread cookie.
Peaches and pears. Oh,
Yeah.
gosh. I want peaches and pears right now.
It smells so good, man. So full disclosure, we filmed a head-to-head video a while earlier today, and they were two allegedly very good bottles. And
No spoilers.
No spoilers, but two very allegedly good bottles that completely blind did not wow us. And this on the nose is wowing me.
It just smells so good.
It smells so dense and rich. Like it's got that fruity, it's got that like peach pear thing. It's got a heavy vanilla, and this like shortbread cookie is the best way I can describe it.
This is what I appreciate about what is probably a Scotch or an Irish. Scotch.
It smells Scotch or
It
Irish.
smells Scotch or Irish. What I appreciate about those two whiskeys is that they can smell sweet. They can be sweet without being sugary. And I think for me with bourbon, when it gets too sugary sweet, that's when I don't like it. I like sweetness, but I don't like it when it tastes sugary sweet. And I think that's what Scotch and Irish tend to do well. It's more of a fruity sweetness, not a sugar sweetness, like a white table sugar sweetness. I know fruit is sweet, but you know what I'm saying.
Which is why you tend to like Scotch and Irish and international whiskeys more than bourbon.
Yeah.
But rye is probably your top. Rye and Scotch are kind of vying for your top spots. To me, this smells awesome. We've said everything we can say. Let's get this on the palate.
This tastes nice and easy, smooth, but flavorful.
So pleasant.
It's pleasant. That's a good word for it.
It's so pleasant. This is, if you lived in Pleasantville, this would be the town's drink.
Yeah, it doesn't taste like it has a high ABV, but it's still got flavor, just not a lot of power, which I like in this today. I might not always like that, but right now I don't want a lot of power, so it's good.
No, I mean, everything to me from the nose carries to the palate with that peachy peariness coming through, the vanilla. Got a little bit of like this pepper spice on the back end that I liked a lot. It did kind of come and go. It was very silky. You might call that smooth.
Silky.
To me, it's a little thin. Disappears a little bit faster than I would like.
I can agree.
But I tend to like higher proof stuff, and that's usually not international whiskey's strong suit.
I can agree. It does. The flavor doesn't linger, which I wish it did a little bit more. But overall, the flavor is good. That's why I want it to linger a little longer because it's good. It's fruity sweet without being too sweet. I like it.
Man, it just becomes so much more cohesive on that second sip. I find that incredibly enjoyable. That's something that, honestly speaking, I really don't even need it in a Glencairn. I probably could just put that neat in a rocks glass and just sip on it while we watch a movie or a TV show and just enjoy it. Just enjoy it for everything that it is and nothing that it's not. Very flavorful. I think that's the standout thing in this glass. It is very flavorful despite being a lower ABV.
Yeah.
And incredibly enjoyable.
Yeah, and I will say the one thing that does knock it for me is how fast that flavor kind of dissipates.
Yeah.
But I like the flavor that's there.
Yeah. I will say while we're looking up how much this costs.
Oh, yeah.
Rating.
Are we going to rate?
We should, rate.
Yeah. So I'm going to give it...
Thumbs up. What are you thinking about? You don't get crazy now. First one back.
I know. Well, here's the deal. I want the flavor to be a little bit more, like longer.
Okay.
So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a just okay.
Oh, wow. Okay.
For now, with the caveat, if it's priced well, I will move to a thumbs up.
Okay.
I like it enough where I would buy it if it was a decent price, but if it gets too expensive, I want something, if I'm going to spend more money on it, I want something that's the flavor is going to stick around a little longer.
Yes, sir.
Personally.
I think to me, again, I said thumbs up. To me, I like this. I'd like to have a bottle of this. I find it very enjoyable. I think to me, what this kind of reminds me of is like a Speyside Scotch, like a Glenlivet or something, or maybe an Irish whiskey like a green spot or maybe a yellow spot. It's got a little bit more body, maybe more like a Powers John's Lane. But yeah, I mean, to me, a good bottle of Scotch or Irish, $60-$70 is kind of right in the wheelhouse of what I would love to spend on this, and I would say thumbs up at that. This is number 28 in our pool. What's the price?
So it is $50.
Thumbs up.
So I am going to go thumbs up. I feel like that's a good price, especially for when I'm drinking. I do still want the flavor to not dissipate so quickly, but for $50, I think it's worth it. I'd pay that.
Before we find out what this is, here's what I'm going to say. Honestly speaking, as a guy who likes sweet bourbon, and if you like sweet bourbon, particularly fruity bourbon, things like Buffalo Trace bourbon or Old Forester bourbon or, MGP types of bourbon, like those are the fruit forward bourbons.
Yeah.
This has the sweetness and the fruit forwardness like bourbon has. This is what I would consider to be like an ambassador Scotch or Irish whiskey, whatever it is. We'll find out in a second. But for $50, you're getting a very high quality pour here for what it is. Yeah. And I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
I 100% want a bottle of this.
I'm not mad at the price at all.
What is this?
This is, Glenfiddich 12.
Oh, hey now.
Speyside single malt Scotch.
Yeah.
Oloroso sherry and bourbon casks.
There you go. So,
and this is thanks to Peter Fasciano at Whisky is a Journey.
Hey, by the way, if you are not checking out Whisky is a Journey and Peter Fasciano's channel, you are missing out on some of the best content on WhiskeyTube, period. Seriously, high production value, got a great palate, good down-to-earth guy, can't beat it. Yeah. Check him out.
So this says 40%. Is that 40% ABV?
Yeah.
Is that, so what's the proof?
80 proof?
80 proof?
Yeah.
Okay.
And a lot of Scotch, to be fair, a lot of Scotch, to be fair, is either 40 or 43% ABV.
Okay.
I would definitely prefer a little bit more ABV on this to like push me into that 2 thumbs up territory.
Yeah. It's good.
Ex Oloroso sherry and bourbon.
Sherry and bourbon casks. Yep.
I feel like you get the fruity sweetness from
That's fine.
From the Oloroso sherry. You get that vanilla note from the barrel from the bourbon.
And I will say those are just like touches, just like a kiss of the sherry cask, a kiss of the bourbon cask. It's not, neither one of those are like bowling you over, but they're just imparting a little bit of flavor. Yeah.
I mean, Glenfiddich 12 is widely regarded as one of the better entry-level scotches. I like Glenlivet 12 a lot. I know a lot of people think it's kind of the on-the-shelf stuff that you would just pass over, but I personally find it very enjoyable. I know there's channels out there like Curiosity Public who have done blinds of the entire 12-year entry-level Scotch lineup, and Glenlivet has won those. But on memory alone, maybe it's just because it's been a minute since we've had some international whiskey.
It has been a minute.
But on memory alone, this is striking me as better than Glenlivet 12. And in our market, it's cheaper than Glenlivet 12.
Interesting.
So I would definitely gravitate towards the Glenfiddich 12. Great pour.
Yeah.
we're back.
We're back.
We're back.
We're back, baby.
We're back
I get to try some international whiskeys.
We're back in international waters. So if you like this, let us know down in the comments below. I know we have a lot of people who are strictly bourbon and rye. Maybe we can convince you to expand your palates a little bit if you trust us and our palates. I know we got a bunch of people who enjoy a lot of international whiskeys, and there's so much more flavors to be found. So many more flavors to be found.
It expands your flavor profile, I feel like, if you try the international stuff.
Bourbon is a very narrow spectrum of flavor.
Yeah.
It's just where do the pores fall.
Even rye is, too.
Rye is a lot wider than bourbon, but still much more narrow than international whiskeys. So definitely worth checking some of this stuff out. Join us for the ride. You know, even if it's not your thing, hopefully you find some value in these videos, some entertainment value. But yeah, we just wanted to kind of dip our toes back in. This is something that we love, and this is our channel, so we do what we want. So
Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah. But speaking of people who love international whiskey, we got a bunch of people over on our Discord who love international whiskey, and you can get to that through our Patreon community. And if you join our Patreon, it'll get you access to our Discord for as little as $3 a month.
Yep.
We got some of the best people on planet Earth there. So check it out if you like good people and you like good whiskey.
Yep.
That's also where we release our barrel picks, and those go in tiered order. Start at the top, work their way down, and they even go down to the free tier. There is a free tier on Patreon. So even if you don't want to make a financial commitment and invest in the channel and the community like we do, like so many other people do, it's worth at least checking out the free tier if you want to get access to our barrel picks that make it all the way down through. And check out our shirts if you like these shirts and you want to get more shirts like these or get these shirts. You can find those.
I'm wearing our merch today. I never do.
You can find those at stuffandwhiskey.com.
Yeah.
I'm going to enjoy this.
Me
international
too.
whiskey.
Yeah. So we'll leave it at that because we're going to go finish off these whiskeys. And y'all be good to each other. Oh, one more.
Be good to each other. And not all Monday videos will be international.
Correct.
Just a reminder, we're mixing the pool up so we could draw. We might have one international every once in a while. And the pool split half and half. So it could be anything, any week. Mondays are going to get wild.
Wild Mondays.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. Be good to each other. Until next time, cheers.
Cheers.
That's so good. I love it.